Hello, welcome in or welcome back to my channel. My name is Deb from DG Reads, and it's time for another book haul. I learned my lessons after my last book haul, which was way too big and oversized and a bit much to film, and kept this one slightly more reasonable, maybe. We'll see. I do have a lot of books here that I'm super excited for, and might as well just go ahead and dive right in. As usual, I'm going to be starting with books that were gifted to me, and then we'll move on to the ones that I purchased over the last month and a half or so. From Scribner, I have Mother Mary Comes to Me by Arundhati Roy. This is the author of The God of Small Things. I previously had an arc of this one. I am really excited to read it, but also it's about the loss of her mother, and given my year and some of the triggers I currently have around grief, around family loss, this one is one that I am looking forward to, but also a little hesitant about, but I'm sure it's going to be amazing because I do love her writing. From Del Rey, I have The Summer War by Naomi Novik. This one says it is a young witch who has inadvertently cursed her brother to live a life without love, and she must find a way to undo the spell. It is a short little novella and one I'm eager to pick up soon. From Putnam, I received Fiend by Alma Katsu. This is an author I've really enjoyed in the past. She tends to write historical, and I think this one's a little more modern, possibly. We're following a family who seems to have all the good luck. Their competitors seem to have absolute catastrophes constantly happening, but their rise to power comes at a cost type of a story. I'm really excited for this. From Ballantine, we have Famous by Blake Crouch. This is a reprint of one of his older books. I've been enjoying getting to some of his backlist. I haven't necessarily loved it as much as his more recent books, but this is a short little novella. It says it's an upcoming film starring Zac Efron. We are following a man who looked just like a famous actor, and he's been doing everything in his power to study this man, everything he does, and when he loses his job, he decides it's the time to actually become him. From 10 Speed Publishing, I have You Are the Detective, The Creeping Hand Murder, a Solve It Yourself mystery by Maureen Johnson and Jay Cooper. This one looks so unique, so interesting, and it is putting you in the role of detective. You get a letter at the beginning, and then there's maps, there's clues, there's story, there's lore, and you are meant to actually solve the murder, and I'm so eager to check this one out. From Tor Nightfire, I have The Autumn Springs Retirement Home Massacre. This is by Philip Ricassi. This is one that's on my immediate TBR. I don't know much about this one, but it's a retirement home massacre. Do I really need to know more? This is an author I've read once before and didn't entirely love, but I have high hopes for this. From the author, I received a copy of Easy Prey by A.B. Whalen. This is a 2025 release and available now, I believe. On the front, it says, "Some predators don't hide in the dark. They walk right through your front door." And on the back, it said, "He stole her sister's money, her trust, and her life. Now Jules is taking everything back, even if it kills her." Sounds like a revenge story. This is one I definitely want to check out soon. From Ballantine Books, I received Joy Fielding's Jenny Cooper Has a Secret. This one involves a woman with dementia who has a secret, and when she speaks up, the main character of this one has to decide if she trusts the woman or not. It is a psychological thriller, and it sounds really intriguing. A Kylie approved pick, I have Inside of a Dog, What Dogs See, Smell, and Know by Alexandra Horowitz. It sounds really interesting. Get inside the head of what dogs think and smell and everything else. Definitely one on my nonfiction November TBR. From Tor, I have a September arc release. This one is The Heist of Hollow London by Eddie Robson. This one is following a couple of clones. They are duplicates for people in power. They are meant to be there as spare parts basically, but when the company that owns them goes under, they are approached to put on a heist. An October arc I received because I got to go to a really fun girl dinner launch kind of party at Sunny's Bookshop is Girl Dinner by Olivia Blake. This one is coming out in October, and it is definitely a high priority read for me in the very near future. This one says it's a novel about power, lust, and eating your fill as wealthy moms and sorority girls practice a sinister new wellness trend. An October nonfiction arc I received from St. Martin's Press is The Genius Bat, The Secret Life of the Only Flying Mammal by Yossi Yovel. This one just feels like the perfect nonfiction read for spooky season, and since I always try to get a nonfiction onto each of my month's TBR, this is the obvious choice. Another September ARC release from Tor.com is Daedalus is Dead by Seamus Sullivan. This one is another short novella. It is a delicious and gripping story of fatherhood and masculinity told throughout the reimagined destinies of Greek mythic figures Daedalus, Icarus, King Minos, and the Minotaur. Coming out October 7th from Random House, I received Remain by Nicholas Sparks with M. Night Shyamalan. This one is such an interesting pairing on the front cover. I am so intrigued to check this one out. It says it's a haunting love story from the minds of two brilliant storytellers. The quote on the back says, "You're going to fall in love, Tate, and when you do, it's going to change your life forever." A December release I received from Harper Perennial is The Day I Lost You by Ruth Mancini. This is the author who wrote The Woman on the Ledge, which I really enjoyed. This one says it's about a missing child and three adults whose shared secrets and hidden history could prove deadly. From Ballantine Books, I received If You're Seeing This, It's Meant for You by Lee Stein. This one says fates collide after a tarot influencer disappears from a decaying Hollywood mansion in this unnerving gothic mystery and audacious social comedy. So definitely one to check out, and it's a nice quick read, it looks like. From Random House, I received Coffin Moon by Keith Rawson. This is the author who wrote Fever House, which I did really enjoy. This one we are following a Vietnam vet and his niece, and they are out hunting and being hunted by the vampire who killed their family. From Del Rey, I received Artificial Wisdom by Thomas R. Weaver. The back of this one says climate change has ravaged the globe. A U.S. president and an AI vie for political control, and a journalist investigates a murder plot that could upend the world or save it. From Ballantine Books, I have The Grand Paloma Resort by Clavis Terra, and the cover says, I would love to go and sit in one of these resort chairs. The inside probably not so much. The Grand Paloma Resort is a lush paradise in the Dominican Republic where the guests enjoy incredible luxury and the staff is always eager to please until they are pushed to the brink. From Bantam Books, I have The Wives of Hawthorne Lane by Stephanie DeCarolis, and on the back it says, in this twisty tale of domestic suspense, four neighbors become the prime suspects in a murder investigation that reveals the sinister underside of their picture-perfect community. So, adults behaving badly, potentially. Lots of secrets, I'm guessing. Very interested. Also from Bantam Books, I have Peter Miles Has to Die by Katie Cullum. This one says, four friends became three. Only murder will set things right. It's an emotional what would you do thriller debut about revenge, the bonds of friendship, the reverberations of small-town crime, and the limits of justice. From Ballantine Books, I have Full Bloom by Francesca Saratella. This one says, the power to be seen, the power to be heard, the power to be adored. A woman's life is forever changed by a mysterious perfume in the stunning novel about ambition and untapped desire. So this one is really stunning, and I've heard good things about it. And then for my last five here, I actually got to go to a book event at Zibby's Bookshop. It was an influencer event I got invited to. I'm so thankful to them for that. And I did get to pick up a couple ARCs while I was there, which also made it a lot of fun. A December release is The Definitions by Matt Green. This one is an elegant and haunting dystopian novel about individuals relearning how to navigate the world after a mysterious illness strips them of their memories. This is from Holt Books. Another December release, I have Persephone's Curse by Katrina Leno. This one is from Wednesday Books. It says it's The Hazelwood meets Laini Taylor in this gorgeous speculative tale of sisterhood, ghosts, and old family curses. An October release from Head of Zeus is Rumored by Kelly and Christina Mancaruso. We are following a murder mystery where a pop star has been accused of murder, and we are following a reporter for a celebrity online entity that is investigating. I received a finished copy of the Phoebe Variations by Jane Hamilton. This is actually published by Zibby, and it is a young woman who has never really looked into her birth family, but as she's approaching graduation from high school, her adoptive family encourages her, and something about finding them changes everything. And last but certainly not least, I received a release in October from Tor, which is Red City by Marie Lu. This is an author I really enjoyed in her young adult fantasy writing, so I'm really eager to check out her adult debut. It says it's set in a glittering alternate Los Angeles, this stunning contemporary fantasy of magical warfare, star-crossed ambition, and the pursuit of perfection at any cost. So I am so excited for this one, and it's definitely on my October TBR. From Minotaur, I received Cold Burn by AJ Landau. This is the sequel to Leave No Trace, which I really enjoyed. This one I struggled to get into a little bit more at the very beginning, but by the end I was enjoying myself. It is set in Alaska and also the Everglades. It's dealing with climate change and conspiracies tied to that, and it had a lot of good messaging mixed in with the story. And then from Kensington, I received Ask for Andrea by Noelle W. Ely. This one is coming out October 28th, and I had previously read the audiobook for this one. It's a really unique story because we are hearing the story from the 3 women that have been killed by the serial killer in this book, and they are trying to work against him to try to keep more victims from falling prey to him. And with that, we can move on to the books that I have purchased. In my Nightworm subscription, I received The Unseen by Annie Elborn, and this one starts with a woman who's dealing with grief after a devastating loss. She finds a child, a strange child, at the border of her property, and she brings him in. And she eventually brings him into her family. The family's not so thrilled, but they want to do what she wants to do. But they all seem to start cluing in that there's something not normal about him before she does. And this takes some unusual twists and turns, but I did really enjoy my time with it. From the Owl Crate Sci-Fi subscription, I received Metallic Realms by Lincoln Michael. This one is one that I hadn't really known much about before going into it, but there's a whale in the sky. On the back it says science fiction isn't a portal to other worlds, it's a mirror held up to our own, which is true. But they have some really stunning art that really has me intrigued to check this out. It says fantastic universes and personal dramas collide as a group of friends blur the line between life and fiction with delightfully disastrous results. From Fairy Loot, I received Immortal Consequences by Ivy Marie. This one is 6 rivals, 1 victor. Eternity is only the beginning. Welcome to Blackwood Academy, a school located on the edge of the afterlife. So, Dark Academia, sounds like there's a competition or trials of some sort. Definitely buzzwords for me. From Fairy Loot, I received Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. This was a super highly anticipated read for me, and thankfully I was able to read it pretty much as soon as it came in. It is Dark Academia. We are following 2 students who are rivals who go to hell after their professor dies to try to get him back. And things ensue from there. I really enjoyed the world building in here, the rivalry, the relationship between the 2, everything just worked really well for me. One that I had pre-ordered as soon as I had heard it was coming is The End of the World as We Know It, New Tales of Stephen King's The Stand. It's edited by Christopher Golden and Brian Keene and includes a Stephen King introduction. This is a collection of short stories from a very long list of authors, all set around or based off of or inspired by Stephen King's The Stand, which I really enjoy. So I am so eager to pick this up. In all honesty, I don't love the texture of this dust jacket, so that's coming off. From Twisted Retreat subscription, I received The Bone Drenched Woods by L.V. Russell. This has a very stunning sprayed edge on it. On the back it says carve the bones, 1 for the gate, 1 for the door, 2 for the mantle, and 3 for the floor. We are following Hyacinth. She lives in what sounds like a very conservative town ruled by the elders and their hareskin masks. She watches as the heathens hang and the witches burn. Tell her to be good and quiet, but Hyacinth is neither good nor quiet. Sounds like there are horrors out in the woods, and our character is probably going to go find them, I'm guessing. In my Aardvark subscription box, I picked up Lucky Day by Chuck Tingle, and I just actually finished reading this one. It immediately came out of the box and into my hand. Start reading. This one is set in a world that suddenly luck becomes real. There's what's called a low probability day, and millions of people die in really bizarre ways. It goes really wild really quickly. And then our main character, who witnessed a lot of these things and is very traumatized by it, is asked to participate in an investigation to figure out what's going on. It left me with a few mixed feelings. It got really weird in ways that I loved, but it did have definitely a slowness to it I wasn't expecting. So with that, I do recommend it, but it's not my new favorite. In that same Aardvark box, I also picked up A Land So Wide by Aaron A. Craig. This one is an author that I know writes really atmospheric books that I've really enjoyed. It says, the town of Mistaken has a secret. It's a small settlement in the beautiful but brutal Canadian wilderness. They have come to an agreement with the Bright Eyes, the insatiable monsters who rain down destruction on nearby villages. So they have something that they've agreed to stay safe within their little wards, but obviously things are going to take a turn. From Owl Crate's horror subscription, I received The Library at Hellbore. This is by Cassandra Khaw, and this is just truly a beautiful book. Sometimes we do terrible things to survive, don't we? It says on the back. This is one that I read as an ARC way back when, but I was not mad to be receiving a hard copy of it because I did really have a good time with it. And it is extremely, extremely gory. Go into it knowing that if you do want to pick it up. But if you're looking for a dark read, a dark academia type read for fall, for spooky season, this could be the one. From my Illumicrate Starbright box, which is their sci-fi subscription, I received An Unbreakable World by Ren Hutchings. This is one that I didn't know much about going into it, but it sounds really interesting. We're following a petty thief with no memory of her past, scrounging to survive on a backwater outpost until she's kidnapped by one of her marks. That naked hardcover is super, super pretty as well. In my Nightworm subscription delivery, I received Issues with Authority by Nadia Bolkin. This is a collection that drenches the reader in a sensory overload of power, belief, and horrifying transformation. Also from Nightworms, I received What Hunger by Catherine Dang. This is an author I've been wanting to read. We are following a young woman who is the daughter of immigrant parents. She has a perfect older brother, and she's just kind of existing in the background. But it says, tragedy strikes and her world is upended. A few nights later, at her first high school party, a boy crosses the line and she's overtaken by a force larger than herself. This newfound power comes with an insatiable hunger for raw meat, a craving that is both a saving grace and a potential destroyer. From Twisted Retreat, I have Blood Slaves, a novel by Marcus Redmond. This is their special edition for this one. It says it's set in Carolina, 1710. Part historical drama, part supernatural horror, and part alternate history. Blood Slaves is an ingenious and defiant new creation myth of the vampire, one rooted in both justice and the sometimes violent means necessary to achieve it. Also from Twisted Retreat, I have this one, which is The Night Prophets by Paul F. Olson. This one has a really stunning eye sprayed edge there. I cannot tell you the synopsis of this one because they've printed it in red on black and it is just not readable, but it does say in gold, God's hand can touch you too. So really that's all I know about that one. From Once Upon a Book Club box, I picked up Falling Like Leaves by Missy Wilson. This was their YA. I decided to switch it out, A, because this one compares itself to Gilmore Girls, and that's a catchphrase for me, but also the other one was very historical, and I've had a lot of historical from them lately, so I decided to change it up. We're following a young girl who is dealing with her parents' separation, and that has her moving from Manhattan to Bramble Falls, Connecticut. Also from Once Upon a Book Club, I received Asylum Hotel by Juliet Blackwell. This one says, when a mysterious figure shows up in the photograph an architect takes of the derelict Hotel Sebring, ghostly encounters and murder are unleashed. And in a final one from Once Upon a Book Club box, I have The Stolen Life of Colette Marceau. This is by Kirsten Harmel. This is a special edition they've put together. On the back it says, if you do good in the world, it might just be possible to turn back the darkness. We are following a thief. This is set around the Second World War. She only takes from those who deserve it, and she's helping to fund the resistance. She loses her family in the process of this, but many years later, something turns up that gives her hope of maybe finding out what happened to her sister. A special edition I picked up from Owl Crate is Arcana Academy by Elise Kova. I read this and absolutely loved it, so I really wanted a special edition for my shelf. Your future is your tuition, it says on the back. This one is set at a school for teaching tarot. Tarot is the magic system of this world, and I really, really loved this story and flew through it, even though it is not a short one. From Illumicrate, I received Voidwalker by S.A. McLean, and on the back it says, appease the beasts and keep them fed, but never invite them into your bed. It is definitely giving winter vibes from this cover. It says, Fianamara is a smuggler. Antal is the reason her people fear the dark. So I've been hearing some good things about this one, and I definitely want to check it out soon. And last but certainly not least, I splurged a little bit here and picked up from Illumicrate the first 3 books of The Realm of the Elderlings. This is an absolute all-time favorite series for me, so I could not resist. And really, these books are quite gorgeous. They're a bit big to actually be holding, but when you put them all together, they have a really fantastic sprayed edge on them. And the artwork is just really pretty. These are characters I absolutely love, so having them here is wonderful. Giving you the little walkthrough of these because they're just too pretty not to. and they keep getting bigger as they go. It's funny that the first book is actually the shortest because I remember it taking the longest just because I wasn't fully invested yet. But by the end of that first book, I was fully hooked. And the Farseer trilogy kicks off a really long series, but I loved every page. Robin Hobb is a masterful writer. So let me know in the comments below, have you read any of these? Are there any here you recommend that I pick up? Are there any here you really want to hear me review? I would love to hear all the things. And if you made it this far and you don't have anything to comment, how about leaving me a wolf for the Robin Hobb books? Because I am so thrilled to add those to my shelf. If you could hit that like button below, I would surely appreciate it, and subscribe if you're interested in more of my book hauls, my reviews of some of these books, and my bookish content in general. But for now, I'll leave you here and see you real soon in a new video.